Hi, Chahat. Morning.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
All right, all right. So we are catching you live from Delhi right now.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
You're right. So here for a holiday.
Yes, sir. I'm here to meet my sister.
So a break after this, long season of CLAT and AILET, right?
Yes, sir.
So hi guys, we have Chahat with us today. Chahat has been a 2 year student with us at Career Launcher Chandigarh. She is a student from Bhavan Vidyalaya Sector 27 Chandigarh, right? And she's made to CLAT with a All India rank of 29, right? So Chahat, how are you feeling?
I feel honestly great. Like, I've checked my result portal multiple times just to make sure it's correct. And it is.
All right, okay. And how did your parents feel?
My parents were like over the moon. They were honestly so happy. I think my dad saw the result and we were on our way, and like all of us literally started screaming in the car. It was very wholesome.
Okay. Uh, so you appeared for Elliot also, and Elliot was sort of a little disappointment.
I mean, honestly, I feel satisfied with my rank. I got a rank of 114. Um,
Yes.
I never really wanted to go to NLU Delhi, so I wasn't really that sad about AILET. So I think it was fine.
So anything which you helped you from Elliot to CLAT?
Yes, definitely. I think that one week I came to the center to write a mock, and the environment really helped because everything was just normal. It felt like I was writing like just another mock. And I feel like also the motivating messages we were getting on our class group, especially the audio that you sent, was like really, really helpful because AILET really hadn't gone that great. And I just felt really inspired to just do my best in CLAT.
Great. So little about your journey to CLAT.
Yes, sir. So I joined Career Launcher in 11th. That was when I was deciding whether I should pursue law or not. So I remember I visited the center and the mentors told me everything about the CLAT paper pattern. They gave me brochures, and I realized I came back home. I did some more research and I realized that it was what I wanted to do. So I got myself enrolled. And our first class was just like an introductory workshop class, and I was sure that that's what I want to do after that class. So I joined in 11th, and if I'm being honest, I didn't really do a lot in 11th on my own. Like, I just attended classes regularly. But I think that was pretty sufficient because it built like a really good concept base. I think in 12th, the last 5 months from September, like August and September, is actually when I started putting in real effort on my own. And the teachers were always there to support me at Career Launcher as well. So I think it really helped.
Great. So see, this is a long journey, right? Almost 2 years, starting from plus one, and plus one is generally a stage when a student, I would say yes, some of the students are clear, but still, that flair or that spark sometimes misses in the student. So, how did you keep yourself motivated for this journey?
So I think it was largely just being surrounded by friends who were also doing CLAT. So just like being in that community where people are doing the same thing as you and they're asking you every day how it's going really kept me motivated because everyone was having the same struggles. So it felt like I wasn't alone and like everyone was kind of in the same boat. So I think that was motivating.
Great. So, something about your journey regarding your mocks, regarding your classes, how far the mocks played the role, and anything which you would like to share.
Yes, I feel like the mocks were really nice. Like they were based on the CLAT pattern to a lot of extent, like especially the math section. I came back home after CLAT and I realized that a lot of people found the math section pretty difficult. But I feel like if you've been regularly attempting like career launcher mocks, the maths that we got was not just based on DI. It also had caselets, it also had like averages and other conceptual maths topics. And I think if you've attempted them and if you've talked to your teachers about them, it would have really helped you good gain like a good score in math as well. I think legal as well again was not really legal on the legal concepts, right? Like we didn't have proper concepts. We had like RCs given to us in legal. That was also there in one of our mocks, and like I think the mocks at Career Launcher really experiment with all the kinds of questions that you can get. So that's really nice because then you know like what sort of different things you can expect, and you're just more prepared.
Okay. See, generally, it is said that, being consistent with your mocks somehow, gives you a real picture of the CLAT, or So how were your mocks? Were you very consistent with the scores and everything? So far, I remember they were all ups and downs.
Yes, there were ups and downs. I think the first mock I wrote, I got like a score of 60. And after that, I was able to like reach the 90 mark. But then I fell down again to 55 in like August. And that was pretty stressful because it was August already and I was getting 55 marks. But I just want to say that mock scores are not representative at all of like where you like how much you'll get in the actual paper, because regardless of how good a mock is and like just how based on the paper pattern it is, there are a lot of other factors on the actual day that will push you forward and like you'll end up surprising yourself. So even if you're getting bad mock scores, it's just okay because that's not what you'll get in the actual exam. I remember in my last week, so like 2 weeks before clat I was getting like 95, 105 and 110, but then in the last week it again fell down to like 80, 85, and that's pretty normal, like it happens with everyone. So I don't think you need to be stressed if that's happening.
Absolutely true. See, absolutely true. Actually, this is something which we have to take care of. Okay. So, generally, mocks, sometimes we see these scores, but somehow I feel that, mocks are very important from, in terms of your making a strategy for the paper. So, do you really think that whatever strategy you planned for yourself, one, what was it? And secondly, did you follow it? Or yes, you had to make certain changes to get to this clat, because this clat was a little different from the last clat, right?
Right.
So,
So I mean, our teachers, like at Career Launcher, I remember having classes and they were telling us that, so like 6, 7 months before the exam, they were telling us that we need to experiment and figure out what the best thing is for ourselves. So I did do that. But in the end, I realized that just attempting the paper as it is, like starting off with English and finishing with maths, probably worked the best for me. So I did that on the exam day as well. I remember I started skimming the paper, so I took a minute and I just went through the paper to see how the sections looked, just to make sure the pattern was the same and it wasn't like AILET. And the good thing is, while skimming, the only passage in GK that I saw was the passage on presidential elections. So I
right.
felt pretty nice because I'd studied that and I knew the answers to that. So I did English and then I got to GK. And then GK was pretty bad for me. Like, it was probably the worst section. I scored very less marks in GK. But I think the good thing is that I knew from my mentors that last year the GK was bad as well. And because of the GK, a lot of people messed up their entire exam. So I remember that that's something I do not have to do in this, like in this actual CLAT paper. So I just skipped through the section. I started attempting legal and then I came back to GK after attempting maths in the end.
So great. So did that 150 question strategy worked a little?
It did work a lot. Like it just like take one question at a time. If you don't know it, move on and come back to it later if you have the time. Just don't overthink it.
Great. So, Chat, as we always say, CLAT, somehow we consider it to be our goal, but it is always a stepping stone towards our future journey, right? So, what do you plan?
Uh, since I was like in eighth grade, I've always wanted to enter the judiciary. So I think that's what I have in mind for now. But I'm not sure how the next 5 years will impact that. So I'm open to a lot of possibilities. I guess I'll just try and see what works best.
Great. So, definitely you're moving to NLS Bangalore, right? So, this feeling of being in the top, say, 50, 60, 70 students of the country, how does it really goes with?
I mean, it does feel very nice, and it feels very satisfying because, like, you've made people around you proud as well, and it's just fulfilling. It's very fulfilling.
Definitely. See, Chahat, well, on behalf of SEAL Chandigarh, in fact, entire career launcher fraternity, would like to really congratulate you for this achievement, right? See, every paper has its own ups and downs. It is, we term it as easy or difficult, but each paper is a paper which is full of surprises. So, any surprise you found in this CLAT?
I think so. GK was definitely a surprise because it was very random, and I hadn't really come across any of those topics except from just random YouTube knowledge that I had. And I think logic was also a surprise because I'd attempted previous papers, like I'd attempted the last year CLAT papers, and logic there was pretty diverse. Like they asked a range of questions, but this time I found the logical section to be pretty easy, and it took me like only 20, 22 minutes to get through the entire section. So I think that was like a really good surprise in the exam.
So, how had been the CL a part of this journey for you?
It just has been there with me all the time, and I'm just so happy that it has. Right from like my first class where you guys were inspiring us to like do our best to get into Bangalore, to our last class, where like the mentors were telling us that it's okay even if we don't get it because we know we've done our best. It just was very nice because I always knew that I had people around me who'd be there to support me and motivate me throughout my ups and downs.
Great. See, look, Chahat, now once you've done it, there would be many students who would look forward toward you, for your suggestions, for your inputs, for everything. So, must be through this long journey, there must have been some times when you must have felt demotivated or you must have felt low. So, any tip for the students, how to go across this journey, especially in those moments?
Right. So there are definitely demotivating moments. Like you'll write a mock and you'll realize you've scored very bad and you'll come home and cry. But that's absolutely okay, and that happens to everyone. So what I generally do is that I just watch something or I listen to some music and I talk to my parents, and it just would go back to being normal. So I think the only thing to realize is a mock is just a mock. It's just for you to learn. So the marks don't tell you anything, and they're not what you're going to get in the actual exam. So just take it like a mock, learn from it, analyze it, and move on and just do the things that you love.
Great. Right, Chahat? Thank you very much. And, wish you again all the very best for this journey and especially, achieving this feat. This ranks, maybe, sometimes they're just numbers, it's 1 or 19 or 29, they can be numbers. But somehow this achievement, this feeling of achievement always remains with you. And I think it keeps on motivating you throughout your life. So wish you all the very best for this journey and hope to see you soon at the center.
Yes, sir. Hope to see you soon too. Thank you
Right.
so much.
Great. Please convey my best wishes to your parents, to your sister, and all the very best. Congratulations, dear, once again. All the
Thank you so
best.
much, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Chahat. Bye. Take care, Chahat. Bye.
Bye bye.